Nahanglang gini siya ko ana. Gamay lang gini sa ako ning anak. So, ikaw ba? Nagka ba ikaw wa kay Mike di madungog? Kaya ta giruas mo
Lakers,
ako sa
baby.
lugis sa Lakers katay sa buwag.
So,
Maraming
alright.
hapon.
Maraming hapon, maraming punto. Ug salamat sa pagsulod sa podcast na to karon. Basketball Travels 23. So, we have John D. Amor Bautista. It really hurts. Josh. And Martin. Idol.
Ay,
Congratulations! So natay duha ka buhok diri ron mga avid Spurs fan atong gi-invite.
Spurs.
So para
Nag-Lakers ang duha,
Para ba-
nag-Lakers ang duha tayo sa ha.
para kuan ba natay mga insights sa unbiased kuan ba perspective ba.
Ay, di na ta maghisgot na unbiased. Kay bias yun eh. Kaya di pa ni bias. Di aligre.
Ang host
No.
daan kaya bias na kayo.
Let's start Idol Martin. Unsa may ato ang kuan ni? Unsa may ato ang reaction about the game?
Ay, Martin, before you answer that ba? I'm expecting a lot of Laker dams right here. Ano, usta lagi. Nag-expect ko na si Jennifer, na si Erwin, the whole cast ba? Ya, ikaw lagi pa da, that only means nga ikaw enough na ka to represent purple and gold.
Sorry, ang question is, sorry, ang topic is about the game or overall? About the game sa da.
Yeah, let's talk about the game and then let's transition to kuan ka na kinsa nang na video nga out. Ha? Ikaw na, Josh, painay lang. So, let's talk about the game. Imo na? Martin?
Sorry.
Mana.
Okay. So, let's talk about the game and then we'll transition to, our favorite topic. LeBron James.
Ay. Fine. Before I waste my time ba? Kuan ba kanang kung mahisgot ang Lebron James, dili na to iabot apila ng GOAT ha. Kay kung mahisgot kita ang Lebron James GOAT, kanang pwede di nila nato ipadayon.
Kinsa mo?
Di mo niya malikayan ba?
Kinsa mo?
The whole point aning being basketball fans ba? And being critics bitaw. Because kita madanan fan ni Jordan, di ba? I mean, we all grew up looking up at Jordan. Mo ni siya dapat na atong sundon. Okay? So, all right. So, my thoughts on the game. Game ba no? Di ba Lebron?
Okay.
Game.
First of all, kanina t-shirt, ako na nagibalik, gisuotin ako pa game 5. Hello ko, ataya, piste. Ay, sorry. No, sorry. So anyway, way better game 6 than game 5, obviously. In terms of defense, because of course I also need to give credit to Miami on last game. So I wasn't able to give my thoughts, but they played a heck of a game. Jimmy Butler and all those other Miami players, scrappy you guys, and when you look at the ball movement and also their defense, you kayo. Now, game 6, the difference here is that the Lakers really did way better defense than the previous 4 games. That was the Lakers game that we have been hoping for the past, well, maybe the whole entire playoffs actually. Mo di pinakadako na linya, wag ito yung makasud. Let's say, okay, wanay swerte si Tyler Hero, wanay swerte kay wala no diya mga shots, Duncan Robinson, Jimmy Butler, but the reason why those shots did make, okay, even the wide open shot, okay, let's talk about the not wide open shots, of course, obviously, they weren't able to score because of their defense, right? But the shots after those well, non-shots, if that makes sense, magpanagana na og itsa silang, well, of course, they're shooters. So you see a floater by Tyler Hero na short na. That's because of the Lakers defense prior to that shot. So I give credit to the Lakers defense. It really made them work. Because if you would look at it, Spud, ang whole offense sa Lakers, especially on the three-point shot, well, okay, the Lakers offense is around 50%, which is already big. But if you would look at the three-point percentage nila, gamay kayo. Why na nun? Danny Green was still shooting bricks, but of course, I mean, he had what, two, three pointers ato, which is gamit sa KCP was there. Alex Caruso. At the end of the game na good, even actually mga end of sa third quarter, ako na lang gitanaw kung kanusa pa maka triple double si Lebron James. Kay tanan niya ang pasta, di magyapon masud. Duha na lang ko kabuk yung assist kinanglan sa fourth before mo end ang third quarter just to have the triple double. So what I'm
The
trying
same.
to say here is,
Let me cut you there sa idol,
okay,
Martin.
okay, sorry.
So ni clap ka pag shot ni Rondo sa 3 points pasa ni LeBron.
Yes. Actually, yes. Okay, that was a nice assist. Okay? Isa na lang yun sa fourth quarter. Pagpasa niya Danny Green, yung dribble pag yung Danny Green, ikaw yawa! Di ini makount ang 10th assist. Pero, may gani, nakount niya po na 10th assist. Pero, you know, that the triple-double, well, I'm digressing now, talking about the triple-double na ba. Pero, my whole point here is that the Lakers, especially on the 3 points, wasn't even shooting really well. What carried them throughout this whole game was their exemplary defense, and that's what separates them from all the other ball clubs in the NBA. And that's why they're champions. Okay. Okay.
So I'll ask thoughts from Josh. I'll finish with Amor D para chilling ang iyang thoughts about the game.
Actually, wala na ko'y angay wala na ko'y angay there's nothing to discuss. At this game 6, there's nothing to discuss. In fact, na-late kong tanaw sa duwa. Nag-CR ko. Tanaw ko, second quarter na ko. So I thought is Central Time, 7 magsugod, 6:30 eh. So, pag-check na ko sa score, ano ko yung collapse ang Miami. Wala ko kay Bao tinatapos first quarter. So, nawala akong gana. So, I wish I could have joined the Game 5 podcast kay
Mas lindo to. Mas paborto ninyo. So, Idol Jan Diamor.
Hats off kang
Oh, no, sorry.
Hats off kang Lebron James. He's one of the great. Maybe he's on his way to be on top of Mount Rushmore as they've been discussing. So I'm just blessed to have witnessed nga pa siya ba at this time of generation, di ba? So okay kayo.
All right, thank you, Josh. So,
Pero,
all right.
Bayot, gini si Adebayo.
Okay, Amor D, it's your turn.
Congratulations, Lakers. Congratulations, Martin and Hubert. Good job. But why am I not so surprised? Because expected na eh. Kung tan-on ta mo, Ako aning airtime ha, pero pangutan-on ta mong duha. Pila may daog ninyo aning Sirisa ug namusta mo? Ikaw March, pila mo daog? Nagkadaog ka? O di
Oh,
ka musugal?
first of all, wa ko ni sugal. And
Okay, sugal.
secondly, di ko kay baw kay ah really wanna know my thoughts, Ana? Okay,
Di, pangutan-on na tikang ni daog ba ka?
if you're in the finals, bay, that's all even. Okay? That's
Ay,
all
cut you off.
even.
My time, cut you off sa tika.
Okay,
Bert,
gani.
ikaw,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
pila mo na daog?
Ako ni daog 200 ra.
Hindi, my
Si
point
padayon
is,
diya sa imong
ako ni daog ko, 2.5. Gamay ra nagod kayo. Because, again, nasa ni hatag na ko og plus 2. Okay ra. No? But mas ni daog sad ko sa kuan katong usa nga plus 15 man nagipangayo. So okay ra. Si Barry dako kay daog day by the way. Kay may kay niya pagka tan-aw ang mga ads bitaw nga maabot og 6 games niya. Karon pa gyud plus 23 pa gyud kuno ang Miami. But anyways, the reason I brought that up, ako na siyang sir, okay tawagan ni ibalik na ko sa katong akong first statement nga expected mo gud ba? And in fact, and what is not expected is maabot na sila og game 6. Ang uban gani, I remember one of your boys nagpa-picture nagdaog silhig because some of you are actually expecting a sweep for 4-1 because a gentleman sweep. But the Heat, the number 5 seed, nakascare sad sila ninyo town because basi niya madilantar nato ang pagtuboy ni Lebron James ngadto sa inyong Mount Rushmore, which ako almost convinced. Almost convinced. Ni tan-aw ko sa duwa first quarter medyo okay pa pero pagkakita na ko nga si Aiden na sa tunga niya active gayo niingon ako wa na. Kunya pagkakita sa nakong Adebayo nga igdawat niya sa bola murag wa siya kibawon sa iyang buhaton iya ba ipasa o iya ba itsa antud mo turnover na lang nga ko wa na gid nerves are actually kicking in. Nindot kay ang adjustment sa Lakers and good job nga ila yung gisud Rondo. Then maura to. Salamat kayo. It was entertaining.
Mo input ko ba? Ilan?
Oh.
Daog na bitaw mo. Ako lang ang WhatsApp tan bang ipasud mas tragic nga gatakiang pa man to. I don't understand. Usa pa si Adebayo sa gayo kamot murag gagunit og itlog gabag-o ra gi bukal ni itlog ba gi inaana ba? Clumsy kayo. Mayra mong bully sa Celtics shot blocker. Karon nga nabalibuan ba unsay ka-input mo na Coach Hubert?
Ako may ka-share ni mo na is Dragic or Adebayo is very effective when na si Dragic, and it actually showed the first time nga nisulod si Dragic na naagid sila chemistry. It's just that nga naa ang momentum sa depensa sa Lakers. They were aggressive at the very beginning ba. So they jumped into 100 105 or whatever percent nga focus sila is ang depensa. I think it was Coach Vogel who implemented that by, putting Caruso in the starting lineup para nga mawala ang rhythm sa Miami Heat, because we all know that LeBron James can always create the
like
the
what he did in
shots
game
that
5. Like what he did in game 5. If he did that just in game 5, we would not be having this discussion. Kuya na eh.
So, sige.
Si Martin naglumot-lumot.
Pero nganong kuan man, nganong wa maka-adjust his full strap. Be.
Kanang in-game adjustment lisod kay na siya versus kanang post-game adjustments. When we talk about in-game adjustments, pangod, gikuha na to nimong rhythm ni Robinson, because you notice si Robinson gipapawaway niya kay gipasulod niya si Dragic. Si gipasulod niya si Dragic. So at first, 'di ba, si Duncan Robinson, 2 out of 4 naman siguro to siya or 2 out of 3 sa 3-point line. And then, suddenly, nisod si Dragic. Actually, sakto na yung point, Josh, that pagpasod ni Dragic, lisod na kayo siya nga time. For me, no, late na sad to siya nga one. But because kaning star player mo si Dragic, so you're giving him the benefit of the doubt or the trust ba nga makadeliver siya. And millions, we're talking about player paid for how many millions. So they should start or they should play kung pwede sila maka-play. It's unfortunate lang. The same with what happened nga ni Dua si Adebayo sa Game 4 nga napildi ang Miami kay nag-adjust na sila because si Adebayo na di ba? So same applies to Dragic.
Okay,
And
so
I'm happy for last one. I'm happy for the Lakers dahil because naaman gihapon sila gamayng Spurs blueprint by the name of Danny Green. So, congrats.
Okay, last time nga na siya ni Danny Green. Yeah.
Oy, for the records ba? Wa man ko siya gi-blame nga na miss niya. In fact, I wasn't expecting him to take that shot.
But you did not trust Danny Green making that shot because you want Lebron James to make that shot, di ba? So meaning you did not respect or trust any of the 4 players other than LeBron James to make that final shot.
If it's not about not trusting him, it's about understanding that LeBron could have taken it and he should have. But anyways,
so I showed you the replay na.
Okay, so naglingkod ko din ba? Niminaw ko sa inyong mga thoughts ba? Okay, I wouldn't say na dili ko mo-agree. Kaya mo-agree ko sa inyong mga points because they are really, really good points, no? But it's very obvious magyud na kani si Amor Day kanang yaman yung itay discredit gyapon si LeBron James. Yeah. Okay. I want to before I go to that, no, I also want to point out giingon ni by Josh na nganong gipasod pa si Dragic. If you would look at it first off on a siguro inspirational standpoint, they were hoping it would be the 1973 New York Knicks Willis Reed bitaw injured so siya kadyot and then they go on to win the championship. Okay. Secondly,
gabi has yang history nakita mo gyud nga igam.
Grabe difference no?
Dito grabe to yan ni-erap ang whole Madison Square Garden pagsulod niya. Data sa bubble anyway.
Nangatao na mo ana do.
Oh, kita tatay.
Ay sa Idol Martin ha, murag di ko
Data magisgot ang edad. I know where it's going. Don't push it.
Do sa atong manaw may natawo rin 1973 si Bong Rose naman siguro. Pwede na itong maingon na natawo sa
si Danny Bong.
Yeah, Bogo, wala siya natawo 1973 pero he gets this really strong hits. Nasa natawo pag 1973. Props to him. Okay? So, like I said, inspirational standpoint, they were hoping that it will be the second coming of the Willis Reed movement ba? Obviously, it's not because, of course, napili sila. But secondly, the reason why they had Dragic on the lineup is because, of course, he was their leading scorer prior to the finals. And with that, Dragic is a plus 20 points off sa imuhang whole campaign. 20 points good every game. So gamit kay to siya. And I will take off the load unta ni Jimmy Butler, right? But of course, since injured siya, he wasn't the player that we were hoping to see. However, if you look at the stat line, okay, I wanna point this out. Mayingon na sa si Jana nina.
Gruha ni tawanay.
Dili ba? Kung tanaw na to ang stats, Jimmy Butler was a minus 18, okay? Bam Adebayo
Nagtanaw gyud siya stats ba kay ang iyang mata mo adto man sa ubos. Nagtanaw gyud siya stats. Nagtanaw na gyud oh.
Minus 21, okay? Duncan Robinson, minus 16. Dragic, at least, plus 2. Okay? So, if you would look at the impact ba, gilubong ko na siya. Gilubong ko ng Miami. Okay? All of the players na ningso dito should have a negative PAR. Okay? Player efficient rating. Pero Dragic ba, he had a plus 2. Okay? So, you would look at it, yes, he was slow, maybe a liability on defense, pero every time he stepped on the court, it meant something. Okay? It meant something. They really scored. Okay. Now,
sige daw.
now,
Not if you're limping.
okay. Now, karon na pod kasi John de Amor, ingon siya na Anthony Davis was dito ko dami karon wala na ko sa imuhang ipangingon complaints ba yata sa TIPI.
Okay.
Kailangan mo adjust sa unsay isulti sa customer na karon mo adjust ko sa unsay imong gisulti. Okay, now yung kasi Anthony Davis was very crucial sa defensive end, which is really true. All right, Rajon Rondo, we saw the playoff Rondo, actually the finals Rondo, which was really gamit ato. But come on. 28 points, 14 rebounds, 10 assists, 1 steal. Okay? And then 65% field goal plus 18 PER the entire game. Ang highest na ang siguro ang labaw niya sa PER is plus 20, Alex Caruso. Okay? But LeBron James, the whole impact itself, things that you don't see on the stat sheet. Well, actually, I'm bringing up the stat sheet here. Give credit.
Naalala ko ado that I'm not really a fan of PAR ba, because ang PAR ng stat sheet mo good is very deceiving. So let's bring up and let's cite the Dragic example.
Sorry. Last 0 turnovers.
Yeah.
LeBron James.
Okay. So ang PAR mo good, it's an efficiency rating. So inig sa status ganina sa game, labaw kayo ang Lakers. So inigsod ni Dragic 30 plus points good ang kon. Inigsod ni Dragic medyo kay off the bench man siya. So ang musulod na sad sa pikas either wala si LeBron or wala si AD. So medyo in short, since you're an all-star player, medyo taas-taas kag impact ato sa side sa Miami Heat. And then medyo nasa relax gamay kay you're leading 30 points or kon. So that's why si Dragic, he ends up like having plus 2 PER. Pero as kita mo sa game, it's too obvious nga although plus 2 points siya or plus 2 siya sa PAR rating, but the fact that medyo liability siya sa depensa because wala gid siya sa rotation, medyo kuan siya ba kanang out of rhythm siya sa defensive scheme sa Miami Heat. So, but in an offensive rating though, medyo kuan na makarelate ko na kung sa winning team nga PER medyo okay ko na, but not on the losing team nga PER, because the losing team PER pag labi na especially this type of game nga dako na jud kayo labaw, most likely katong mga bench will have a plus 2 plus 4 PER.
Kinis Martin ba Bert? Kaya ta na sa iyo siya sudog podcast. Dapat anto na siya musud sa mga Sports Central nga ang iyang kay istorya bitaw kada bitaw sila si Cho na. Paano sa 2023 ba? Pako na yan sudlan ka din kanang magdaan na mag-stats. Wag mo paganda ba na. Kini mo mo agod medyo inato ra mo ni god kanang discussion ng taga nas inom ba. Kaya ta na ninuod magag maayo do. Oh, kini tinudan na niya ha.
Idol Martin, i-brief lang ta ka sa among conversation ni.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. Katong nag-inom ni Amordi, when we had a discussion ba sa among inom, medyo, it's not like we're talking about facts ba, we're talking about more of the perspective of a person, kung who's better and who's not. So it's always subjective. There's no facts involved. Okay, if we're, how about we'll transition to greatness na? Because I think
Kana.
we're moving to that conversation na that.
Oh,
So
so di ko pwede
Eh,
mo pull up og stats ani.
no, before
you
that,
can
no, 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 no,
you can still make a reference to your stats.
Ayan ako, parang muna ko doa kanang again as di sa bias but kanang usual lang ba di lang parehas bitaw di mo kalawom when it comes to basketball bitaw. Ikaw grabe nang
Kinsa
kaya mga
kinsa.
good. Si Kuan, si Martin na siya yung mga
Okay, okay.
PER sa na ako ako nagtanaw na ako I'll watch every play tanaw na ko kung unsay nahitabo ato nga play ana ra man ko and for me man good if you like associate greatness ba niya if you'll back it up with stats without parang ginagumura siya desperate attempt to convince people ba and then you have these numbers because numbers don't lie and then that's what you use to back it up para mingon ka nga great kaya tao and for me it's not again greatness are built based on those moments nga special. I know you know where I'm getting at. Aha. Asa naman
No,
daw tong host?
no, pa rin.
Amo na to.
What are you getting at, man?
Ang congratulations to LeBron na siya ay fourth ring sa inside sa bubble nga walay crowd impact
Gabihan.
unya kuan sa kanang kuan kayo kanang nindot kayo but I just think nga game 5 was that perfect moment and then as often as yet he failed again wala na siya ni show up on those crucial time. But he's a great player. 1, 2, 3. Na siya na.
Akong
Top 3.
question, akong question ba, Martin and Coach Hubert, akong question ba, anong dili kayo crucial ang Game 6? Nga di makayo to just like Game 5? Is it because Butler is exhausted? Wasn't able to fully recover from the last game? Or anong di kayo siya close as akong gi-expect? It's kuan. Sana
Mafia. Sorry.
As what you've said though. As what you've said,
Mafia.
Josh.
Sorry.
First quarter pa lang do, since wa mga kita sa first quarter. Ang Lakers they were very aggressive. Kung makatanaw ka sa replay, that will answer your question na nganong kayo out of rhythm gyud ang Miami Heat. Plus you're right about putting Dragic. When you have like a new player sa finals, he's not a new player sa Miami Heat, but from the beginning, from katong mga crucial games like from Game 3, Game 4, Game 5, not available best Dragic at that time. So when you make or put a different player or a different look where successful mo atong type of look before, so
that actually
you take the poison na
make or break mo to kay they were very comfortable sa 7-man rotation nila and then suddenly in that crucial game imong ibutang si Dragic nga medyo dili
Pero
gyud
sakto.
100%.
First off, I wouldn't agree. I mean, sorry, I wouldn't not agree sa imong giingon dyan more. Okay. As I saw the game ba?
Asa ato nga di ka mo agree.
Nakalimot na gani ko.
Sa 7-man rotation.
No. About Dragic and everything, okay?
Okay.
Already said my piece about Dragic. So, Dragic. So, for me, the game of basketball is a game of runs, momentum, and adjustment, okay? Para na ko, even though the Lakers lost Game 5, the momentum was still on their side. Because it was all for the taking. Even Jimmy Butler said na They just got lucky. Wa nasod ang tres ni Danny Green. It was a really good confidence booster. Pero still, coming into Game 6, they had all the pressure in the world because they still needed to win 2 games. Okay? That's the first thing. Pressure. Okay? And, secondly na din ang pressure. Okay? First thing, ang momentum. Secondly, ang pressure. Now, the third one here is the Lakers adjusted. Okay? Now, what I meant was that the Lakers adjusted from the start of the game. Instead of having Dwight Howard sa starting lineup, they had Alex Caruso. The last 5 games, they started Dwight Howard. The only scoring threat they had were obviously 4 players. When they inserted Alex Caruso, na siya ang Miami Heat ato, they naguba ilang defense.
Pero by Martin, sorry to cut you off. Sorry to cut off.
Sige.
Sorry to cut you off. Gibroadcast sa Lakers na mo start si Caruso actually a few hours before tip-off.
Yes.
Ay, kung wala intelligence ang coach Polstra camp. Wa sila ka-adjust, di ba? On the fly, whatever. Di ba? It's not a soccer.
Yes.
And
I totally understand that. But the thing is, they already have their game plan. And then their plan in a basketball game, you adjust how you see it, especially during the game. So any adjustments done prior, you already have your game plan on what to do. So the first 5 games, they were always successful with what they had. Okay, regardless of unsay adjust, unsay buhaton sa Lakers, they will stick to their game plan and then perhaps maybe do some adjustments. But the thing is, during the first quarter, na-shock sila dito. That's why Alex Caruso is plus 20 in PAR. Sorry for being...
So, kanang magong ako let me explain to you, Josh, about the katong ningon ko nimo ba. I fear Miami Heat over the Boston Celtics. Ingon gani nila nga mas maayo kung na ako nadunggan wala outside diri sa toang grupo nga they prefer Miami Heat kay easy path daw ang Miami Heat compared sa Boston Celtics, which I would disagree because
yes.
Boston Celtics will be an easier path because there is a defensive player sa kaning Boston, but they don't have a strong defensive scheme. So that's different. Mura ba o Kawhi Leonard ba? You have Kawhi Leonard. He's a defensive player, but you don't have a strong defensive scheme. So that's what happened with the LA Clippers. So let me bring that up lang ha. So going back to your question about
Caruso, the ball man gets paid, gitira gid sa ko host to. Way
Caruso was kuan kanang pahibaw nga earlier man gina-inform ang team na or ang kuan officials na morning starting lineup nako I think 1 hour or 2 hours before. So at that time ang problem ang good sa knowing mao na ilang starter, dili man gud na offensive player si Caruso. You're not expecting, kung ako is Coach Polstra, I'm not expecting Caruso to score like 25 points or 20 points. And even Lakers did not expect for Caruso to make that kind of contribution. So ang point there is si Caruso is very strong on defense, especially sa perimeter nila, and can switch to multiple guys because Caruso is lig-on jud kay Glawas. And kung mao na mahitabo, you're breaking the cycle or the offensive scheme of Miami Heat. And that's the problem, and that's where the problem started.
Right. Gwapo na kayo na itong istorya, no? And then it's becoming highly technical. Gwapo sige mga inputs ni Martin, di na ito malalis kaya na yung mga stats. But for the sake of your YouTube... but for the sake of your YouTube followers sa imong channel, boring na na sige itong istorya Caruso. Let's get to the point. Greatness na no.
All right.
Happy na to sa karas. Yeah. Wala to giwatan.
So, ako pangutana si Martin lang gyapon ako nahog pangutana about unsa may impact ani bay. Sige, let's talk about stats first or the factual matter that LeBron brought championship to the LA Lakers. And you know, the standard of Lakers, you're not just like a star player and go there, sit and do nothing, di ba? You have to bring the chip for the La La Land. So here we go. LeBron James has three Finals MVP to three different franchise. So unsa may impact ni sa unsa gaya na impact
Legacy.
sa legacy ni LeBron James.
Okay. First off, I am a Michael Jordan fan. Okay. I am also a LeBron fan. Maybe Kobe. Okay, okay lang. Okay, but overall, I am a basketball fan. All right, and I see the game how I see it. All right. However, okay, we can't deny greatness. No, look, Jordan already had his time, and we are very grateful now we experienced it. And even when Jordan retired, mga bay, we were thinking, kisa may musunod niya. What will make us watch the NBA again? Aside from just loving basketball, but make us watch the NBA ba? And the effort na sad ba to watch the NBA again? For me, okay, Kobe was there, but until LeBron James arrived, dito na sad ko nakaingon na more okay. I'll be a very good promoter na sad for the NBA because I have someone to follow. And that was back in 2002, ha? High school was LeBron James. Okay? Now, okay, the first thing I wanna, if I may ba, I wanna tell you guys the history on how I followed LeBron James first. Okay, so yan nakana ko kisa ni Giroa. Third year high school ba, junior, he already appealed to the NBA na kung pwede na ba siya musud. Okay, so from there on, nagsige na kog tanaw niya on how he plays. Now, 18 years after, ba, okay? 18 years after, all the players, they would really say, it's really hard just getting in to the finals. Okay? Just being in the finals. LeBron James was able to do that 10 times. Not just once, not just one, not just two, not just three, okay? But 10 times, okay? Jordan had his 6-0. We give him that. I praise him for that. He's the greatest, by the way, Panganako. Okay? But come on, let us appreciate ba on what LeBron James has done for the game. We would say, okay, kapila na siya napili sa finals. But the thing is, like I said, just getting to the finals is really hard enough, okay? 4 championships, all right? When you say 4 championships, that means you had 60 players, or no, not really 60 players.
Gabi
50,
stats na.
50, no, 50 is still in stats. No. This is like calculation.
Oh, lagi.
56 players na imong nagkuyog as a champion. Okay? 14 teammates from all those 4 championships. You gave 56 players a championship with you. That for me is already a very, very great feat for his greatness. Okay.
So, unsa may legacy ni LeBron na ni Amordi para nimo kaning bag-ong championship niya sa Lakers? Will it makes any difference or will it stays the same on how you perceive LeBron James?
What do you think you guys I perceive as LeBron James man there? Let's get that laid out sa bit. Unsa ang inyong pagtuo nga pagtan-aw na ko ng LeBron?
2-9 ra. 2-9. Ayun mga 2-9 ra.
Easiest path in the finals kana mo na akong say.
Sus, kaya ta mura naman kung si Skip Bayless ani. Layo ara dato pero nagbuang ani. Do great lagi na si LeBron do. Ha,
Okay.
di ba? Swerte nga great kayo, good.
So let's go
But
back to
for
the question na lang. What's the kuan unsa may
it is nindot kay maybe he would end his career nga naa siya 4 rings instead of 3. But aside from that, that's it.
Ano
that's
na lang
it
para
like
ano na lang para nai
Kaya lang.
gamay excitement ba?
Ah.
For me right now, Jordan is the greatest, okay? Full time, all right?
Mm.
But LeBron is there to surpass him.
do ako do about greatest mo good kanang di kay ko ganahan mo go into that conversation because greatest for me there's no facts to be involved for greatest, no, it's how you perceive what is great for you. Because for me, if you will ask me who's the greatest, then it would be LeBron James in my basis and in my perspective. You know what? And why? Is because LeBron James has all the skills. He can defend, although he's not. If you compare in a defensive player, it's not the same on accolade because see
Kailangan ko
Michael
salita.
Jordan was actually a defensive player one time. So if I'm not mistaken, I think one or twice. So LeBron was only part of defensive team, but not not the defensive player of the year. Um, assist wise, he can pass, so he can score, he can create plays to his teammates. So kanang nganana ba? Although some others man good define greatness on finesse. They look at players like how finesse the player are ba? How kana bitang Jordan man good has this skill na like nindot kay sa tanawon ba? Kana bang graceful kay sa tanawon. LeBron doesn't have that kind of kanang music on his kanang
Flair.
or rhythm sa iyang music. So, mo nang difference, but kung ako yung pangutanon, that's my basis na for me, LeBron is greater than Michael Jordan.
LeBron is great. He may surpass Michael Jordan by your yardsticks, but not mine. Never will be. Because he already spent 17 seasons. He only got 4 rings. Ikaduha, as what you've said, yung ka, naa siya skills, but naa siya strength. For me, ang iyang greatest attribute is what God has given him, which is ang iyang physique, dako kay nga tao, paspas, kusgan, walay injury, why major injury. That for me shows how disciplined he is sa iyang lawas. So angay na mo siyang i-appreciate.
Do dili ni ako
Ah,
ang
ah,
dili
ay, kaya
sige.
earn time ka puya, earn time. Puya.
Sige.
Okay. Pero tawa na ko sa akong line of thought tungod nimo. Pero para nako do as a basketball fan sa i-play sa nimo siya as a team. In every game nga I've watched LeBron play, dili kay ko ganahan niya dugay kay mo stop sa iyang bola. Michael Jordan is also like that. Kobe Bryant is also like that nga mo spend bitaw daghan ng time nila ang bola. But the difference between them in LeBron James, for him makita na ko siyang mata nga he doesn't know what to do with the ball. And many times na-proven na nato sa playoffs sa finals on the last minute bill out pass and then some of you would just say that he may make the right play. Now, yeah, it may be the right play, pero bati ata na sa play. Ay, and also, di sa nakikuha na, imo mo kong stress bangod nga, imo mo kong stress ang issue ba nga, 3 different teams. Yeah, pero si LeBron na atong sigutan, well, this is a team. Niadto siya sa Lakers, dugay kay siya ni sign up, pero iyang siguro nga naa si Anthony Davis dito. Ano, I may be wrong kung unsa ang chronological order ana, but hey, the bro is the bro. nanay nag-ingon nga he would be one of the best centers at or the best power forward in the game. Nanay siya established game. Samot na mabalik to sa Miami. Miami na dito si D. Wade Park. Already a champion. Na si Bush. So you cannot say na si Lebron James ni add to different teams yung man brought up some championship not without the help of these guys. I was a Lebron James fans when he was with Cavaliers, but that goes down the drain. Ano nibalhin siya. Yan, ibalik pa mo sa Cleveland. Na si Kevin Love, na si Kyrie Irving. Come on.
Balik.
Balik
Sige, nagbalik kali. Now, niingon magka-Bert nga, kompleto siya yung skill set na balikan, diga. Kung mauna yung mag-istorya, ano mo niya get-take ng shot. Even him, sa iyang kaugalingon, siguro siya gana nga.
I won't argue that anymore.
I won't argue that anymore. Wala man na sila kay Bao.
Nakakita na sila, uy.
Sige. Wa mo gud to gisgutan. Wa mo gud na nimo gisgutan. But anyways, Michael Jordan is great. Kobe Bryant is great. LeBron James is great. But that's not even my favorite player. Honestly, wala na nilang tulog para nako sila mga buaya mga usahay gud.
Ako lang din share
because killer instinct. Kaya ba mo gisa mo favorite player si Manu Ginobili. And on that game 5, Manu Ginobili would have taken that shot.
Martin. Ako lang i-share din mo this is how
Ganasa na ko tagaan og chance by Josh na mustorya po. So pa kuning.
Sige, ato mustorya ang Josh.
By Jan.
Ako sa i-share sa katong ang definition ni John sa yang clutch ba. Ang clutch niya is only on the winning line ba. Katong
showbiz ba?
Di ba? It's sa tong Lebron. It's sa tong Lebron with clutch na to regardless of kung sa result mo shot or dili. But anyway, Josh, what do you think about this championship for the legacy of LeBron James?
I think ari kong by Jan
natural.
Dili kay siya dakog impact sa legacy ni James. Unsay legacy ni James karon at present, it is what it is. Pero the real championship, I'm not saying that this is a fake Mickey Mouse championship, but there I just said it. But I hope everything goes back to normal and the real game, full season, full postseason. Mabalik tanang healthy players, then maybe that'll be the time na everything will change. If he will get another legit chip for the Lakers. Para nako, it's my opinion.
Okay.
I'm just a casual fan. I don't have stats. For me, a great basketball player, he will be someone to be considered as a GOAT. Will be that player that can elevate the game. And I think LeBron James already is doing that. Okay, I'm just a casual fan and I watch basketball. Lingaw. But hopefully, see next year. So for now, I rest my case na nothing happened. I mean, nothing. Wala na puno. It is what it is. Unsay naa niya karon. Wala ibanan. That's it.
So the 3 finals MVP into 3 franchise will not change at all in terms of legacy or how LeBron James, give a franchise a chance from no chance to a chance. Because if you look into the Lakers before LeBron James, it was Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, Lonzo Ball, and then who was the player traded to the New York Knicks?
Josh Hart. Oh, sorry, Knicks.
Yeah, it was
Russell.
traded to Russ. No, not Russell. See, na trade sa New Orleans and then go to katong big man ba? Go to New York Knicks. But anyway, I'm just saying that the Lakers was, after Kobe Bryant, and this is we're talking about the biggest franchise or one of the biggest franchise in NBA. So they were looking for a player that can, you know, revive the the heat of Lakers or the Los Angeles Lakers. And then here comes LeBron James, was playoff bound last season, and unfortunately, because of injury, wala sila naka-playoffs. Then
Who's
our
injury?
great LeBron,
Who's
yeah,
injury? Nga was sila nagka-playoffs?
LeBron.
LeBron James, man.
Groin injury,
Huh?
LeBron.
Groin injury. Okay.
So here comes the season, first tandem, and if expectation na to ang gi-istriyaan, Lakers weren't expected to win this championship. It was their neighbor or whatever you call that team. Unsa
Still
gina team? Do you
lang.
know
Kawhi,
that
Kawhi,
team?
Kawhi.
Huh? Was that Kawhi? Who's Kawhi?
Or
Who's Kawhi?
Kabay. Kabay.
Kawhi,
Kabay.
Kawhi.
Who's
Kawhi,
Kawhi?
ano, eh. So,
Wait,
Kawhi.
kamo ba? Wa pa gyapon mo ka move on bitaw sa kato inyong hit nga superstar hit inyo nya man nadilantar because of that young man who was a nobody. Unya,
so,
LeBron stopper. Di mo ka get over ba? Come on, give a man a break.
ako lang nang i-highlight to ba about Josh stating na there's no I'm not objecting that Josh because that's your opinion, but I'm just saying ba that before this happens, it was just like two franchise nga si LeBron na champion. But this happens, three franchise, LeBron James bring this franchise. You build a team to have a championship. It's not like you're drafted, then they build a team around you, and then wins a championship. So
And that's supposed to be
go
what a great player should be.
no
Just like what the predecessors.
no
No,
no
you stay with the team that drafted
no
you. You
no so
pick
tiyan
drafts,
na let
build
me
it around you, not wander around and get
let
some
me
other
give you
greats to play with
a
you.
very good a
Uh,
very good perspective dyan ba in terms of the player's power bitaw. When you're saying man good about a player should stay on just a single team, that's like a long time ago, by 70s, 80s where there's no free agency available at that moment.
Diyan lang.
You only have the
And
mercy of a team that will trade you or
no,
probably the
some players opted to stay even free agency existed. Like Timmy.
no let me
Nakaabot
let
mo na
me
sila sa mga
let
kuha sa
let
mga
me
free agency.
no animo
Happy na tayo sa
animo
kauras. Happy na tayo sa kauras, no? Alauna na sad, gutom na. Hay, mas maayo mag-final words na tani.
nawaba man Martin. So let's discuss about
Atong paaboton. Okay,
sige sige.
and go on para sa natin kasayuran
Sige
nga
ako sa
ma-anin.
ayaw ka hibong just nga ikaw ra sa screen ha pero your final thoughts about this game and about how LeBron impacts the game. So let's start with you first, and then ako sang i-solo ko lang because this is your final perspective on the championship.
Ako di una.
Oh, ikaw na.
Yeah. As with Amor says, we're not LeBron haters. We're just rooting for the underdogs. And congrats to LeBron James and his gang for the fourth championship for LeBron. Is it fourth for LeBron?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fourth and
So
third franchise.
yeah, Game Five was the meat of this series. So I had fun, edge of the seat, kind of performance, back and forth with Jimmy Butler. So my last remark would be like looking forward for the next season, trades, up and coming stars with the name of Luka Doncic. Um, who's a big guy in the Nuggets? Jokic,
Jokic.
and also for the Clippers franchise, what would be the next season would bring to their team? It's still chaos, so I'm excited. Looking forward to an exciting next season. And Coach Hubert, congrats again for your Lakers team.
All right. Thank you, Josh. Thank you. Thank you, sa imong insight. All right. So let's go with I'll save the best sa last jud. I'll go next with Amordi.
Kaya hasta sa kuan ba papaagi bitaw pag statement bitaw bias kay mong duha. Ha? Imo yung ihatag ang final words, ang final statement sa imong katropa. Although I agree nga si Martin yun ang pinakamaayo na to dinhi, nailhan naman nato pagsugod na. Pero for the sake of fair play ba, murag basket unta ba, fair play unta. Give fair play unta sa ninimo ang last statement. Kaya mahitabo ang mudan kung unsay ako itabi, iribat pugod ang Martino din ha, maro
Sige, sige. Ako na lang ikaw na lang ni Johan Martin.
Ako na lang, lahit kayo. Abi na lang, kay baby na kita. Ako na lang lagi.
Imong kamera ba? I-landscape sa na imong kamera para klaro kayo.
Kaya, sa mukha, hindi ko kabaon sa landscape. Uy,
hindi, ikaw lang ba? Itakilid lang imong kuhan ba? Imong cellphone, itakilid.
Oh, nabali man. Oh.
Nakalak. Sige.
Congratulations to the Lakers.
Thumbs up.
Tamsak dati. Di na to skip ang ads. Importante ka na ha. Labi na ka na mga ka-Lebron diha nga amigo kaya ning
Watch
atong
the ads,
host.
don't skip.
Oh, para iyam gini atong gibuhat gino. Congratulations no doubt. Wala ang duda nga sila gid mo champion. Ang pangutana lang ani is up to what game lang makaya sa Miami. Di na tamis ko na kato akong ubo-ubo nga mapya ganina. Binuang to dili kito siya, dili to iangay sa discussion ba. But congrats to the Lakers. Happy kay ko para ni Jack Nicholson, lipay kay siya ganina basin ma-extend pa na ang iyang ginabuhi tungod ning daoga. Unya to nya si Lebron sad. But as far as kung Snoop Dogg, kung unsa ni iyang fourth ring, unsay madungag sa legacy, wala ra, just another ring. But as far as if he was able to elevate kung unsa iyang stature, kung asa na siya sa Mount Rushmore nga giingon ninyo, para nako wala pa na agad gamayng doubt. But he's a great player. Again, I'm a fan that lives on those special moments bitaw wherein it's time for you to shine. And for me, wala gyapon niya napakita ang iyang killer instinct. Even him, I just couldn't imagine ba nga, of course, nature man na sa tao nga naagay pride sa imong kagalingon. But ikaw, you're walking around, you're doing this body language as if you're the greatest. And even you, sustain na ang conversation nga perhaps you are one, if not the greatest of all time. Unya, i-present na sa imo ha mga moments nga nato to clinch it, grab it by the horn, and then you choose the right play wherein you kick it out. For me, that's what LeBron James, and that's what he brings to the table. But he's great.
Kaway gapon.
Natural. Kaway because he's a Spurs. By the way, ganahan ko sa player magud ka ng dili kayo celebrant ba. That's why I love my Spurs. And that's ako na nag-explain din ni Hubert sa una bitaw nga. Ang kana ko nung kita as a fan, mutan-aw ta og sports, any sports ba. Yeah, grabe kay ta ka fanatic because niingon nga sometimes you put yourself kuno ana nga tao ba. And you wish you live for that moment. For example, nasa korte na si LeBron diha, feeling nimo ikaw sa nga mo drive ka din ana. And it reflects your personality. Chris Martin, kay love siya nga ako, dili man kay ta ingon nasa spotlight, ay lumuna sad da. And then I would understand sad why he would love LeBron James because LeBron James is always the center of attention. And as you know, my brother Martin right there, inaanam na siya. Uh, he always lights up a room. Bitaw, dili ko hinambog ha. But when Martin speaks, everybody listens. Mao na siya.
Everybody
Nahay
listens.
siya Lebron tungodanan niya. Mao na siya. Mao na ginahan
Alright.
siya Lebron. Oh.
So ako sa ha, kunyari ni Martin, ako sa mo share sa ko sa
Oh.
akong thoughts about the this championship unsa ni for LeBron James. So let's go back to Michael Jordan at that age. Ako bata pa kay ko ato nga time. Medyo akong makita about Michael Jordan is more of kanang how finesse he plays ba. Kana bitang unsa kanindot or graceful siya mo lay up, mo jump shot nga ang kamot pinas snake ba. Unaana bitaw ang kamot bitaw nindot jud sa tanawon. So after that time we drafted Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, Ray Allen, those guards bitaw Michael Finley, Michael Reed, so Brandon Roy, Penny Hardaway, Grant Hill. Taas kaya expectation na mga players because we want the next Michael Jordan, di ba? It turns out nga si Kobe Bryant was, the real next Michael Jordan. And then here comes 2003, another star player was born of the name of LeBron James, and he's not the next Michael Jordan. He's LeBron James.
So, in the name of Jesus Christ.
I'm just thankful.
Amen.
Thankful lang ko ba nga naka-witness ko sa usa ka great player from the very beginning until this time of year, and probably in a couple of years as well. He can still show us how great he is. And so this is the era again nga makaingon ko nga I witnessed a player in holistic ba nga from the very beginning of his career until the end maka-witness ta. Because I think LeBron James is second because naka-witness ta ni Kobe Bryant from the beginning until the end. Kay for sure, I don't know kung naay isa na to dre nga naka-witness gid sa start ni Michael Jordan. Pero ako, I'm just saying na
Lloyd Cruz.
Daddy Bong.
Pero happy ko nga na naka-champion si LeBron for the Lakers because taas kayong standard ang Lakers, and I want Lakers to have LeBron James banner sa ilahang Staples Center. And so that's my take, and this is one great accomplishment as well for 3 finals MVP for 3 franchise. So, all right, let's go to Martin for his final thoughts.
Okay. First off, thank you for the compliment by Jan. Now you think I am the best. And you talk about being biased, nanana, but yeah, thank you. I will take that as a compliment. Hasta ang ingon ni Brother Hubert na best for last. Dili mo ko best for last, okay? Kita man tanan na ni equal pagka storya, pero speaking of biases, okay.
Now you're talking.
Si Brother Jan, okay. Kasi kung say ato isulti nila about LeBron James, bias na gyud na siya. Dili siya ganahan ni LeBron. Kasi kung para siya great, LeBron is great. Dili na siya ganahan ni LeBron because I don't wanna say karaan na tao si by Jan. Is kana bitaw tao na bitaw di bitaw get over ba sa past. Oh, this is my time, okay. So, ay sorry, abi na ko mo. Nyara kay gana ko makadungog by Jan ni.
Nga naman. So ay nagtawag mo cellphone na bigay jud kay busy ko na ako meeting na.
All right.
Dahil all right ni napay ni
Sorry. Sorry ka ba na? Oy.
Okay, nawala ko sa train of thought na, pero
Okay.
so again, speaking of biases, like I said by Jan, bias ni gyud na. Di na siya ganahan ni LeBron James. Saba na tong storya dili. Okay, so anyway, so what I'm gonna say here, kaya ako na magyuni na storya ni Jan. Pila na katuig sa among kuyog kapila na ako gingon. So this what I am going to say right now is for Basketball Travels 23's viewers. All right. So LeBron James is the most scrutinized, criticized player even before he stepped foot on the NBA. Okay. For you to have that kind of pressure and um not just attain the accomplishments but exceed it is already something that you could say he is really great or maybe even the greatest. All right. Now, daghang kay pang storya si Jan ganiha na I hope maka-remember ko. Pero first off, defensive player of the year, yes, Jordan had that. But LeBron James had second ballot voting on defensive player of the year for maybe 4 times. I could be exaggerating. Pero for sure, he was twice, okay? One is the Mark Gasol and second is the one where I think Draymond Green won. So anyway, what I'm trying to say here is Jordan had 5 MVPs, okay? One defensive player of the year. All right. Now, since Jordan already we look at him at a really high standard and even the media since sila may move vote, then if pwede pa lang, we can give it to Jordan every year, right? Jordan had 6 great years because of those 6 championships. He only had 5 MVPs. The other MVP was given to Karl Malone. Now, because of course, basig, napula na. But if you think of it, LeBron, like I said, going back, LeBron James is the most criticized and scrutinized player ever. And then after the 2011 finals, when he spoke to the reporters, he said, "Okay, ra, pildi ko, but I'm still gonna go home to my wife, to my family, and everything that you guys will say, nothing means to me." That because of that statement, naglagod ang media niya. So for me, and we're not talking about stats here, for this is we talk about on how we see it. Para nako, the media was already biased with that. Even though if pwede pa lang nato ihatag ni LeBron James ang MVP every year, they won't give it to him unless he does something miraculous like maybe, average 40 points, 12 rebounds, 15 assists every year. Because he's already at that standard. Now, if you want to know what type of standard we're talking about, is because if you look at it, okay? Ingon si Bajan ni balhin siya, wanderer. Okay, wanderer. Okay, nato siya ni Wade, nato siya ni Bosch. Okay. When LeBron James left Miami, naabot ba finals sa Miami ito? Wait, heck. Naabot ba sila playoffs? Okay? Pagsud niya sa Cleveland, pagbalik niya sa Cleveland Cavs, I'm not gonna be talking about katong previous Cavs na, kanina kay Wanderer man. So, pagbalik niya sa Cavs, unsay placing sa Cavs ato prior na year? Di ba tae kayo? And that's why they got the #1 pick and they drafted Andrew Wiggins and traded Kevin Love eventually. So, for me, with this championship, para nako it's another championship, yes, okay, because he is gonna be the greatest eventually. But para nako what cemented his legacy was the 2016 finals, where they came back from 3-1 deficit, defeated the 73-9 Warriors #1 team, and he outdueled Steph Curry, the unanimous MVP of the league, na even wapagani siya kasuway finals MVP. For me, that cemented his legacy. Now, going back na sada, when LeBron James left the Cleveland Cavaliers, unsa naman sila? Wala, di ba? They're nothing. Before he joined the Lakers, were they even a playoff team? Okay, if we give this, na si AD is Lakers. If LeBron left, you think the Lakers would reach the finals? No. Maybe they would be a good playoff team. Eliminated.
Duwaon pa na first. Duwaon pa.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe eliminated in the first round. Okay. Oh, and if you see, duwaon pa. Sa imong tanaw, kisa may second scorer ni AD. Di ba? So, sa Alex Caruso, KCP, okay?
Kung
Excuse me.
was LeBron, kinsa may second scorer nila. O kinsa may mas kuan ron sa ilang playoff run.
Yeah, well,
There
exactly
was
my point.
there was
Exactly.
even a hugon-hugon nga basin si Davis ang may MVP. So it's
Hugon-hugon
not
ra.
just all about dreams.
What
Oh,
if
James.
Hugon-hugon ra,
what if
hugon-hugon ra.
wala what if napa si Lonzo Ball at time
You know, I was a very
time
firm
the
believer
season?
of Lonzo
What
Ball.
was before
Kay,
and
kay he was a
injury?
complete player. Even if daghan kay siya criticisms because of his, I believe because mainly of his dad. Pero Lonzo Ball was a complete package on taba. It's just that he wasn't in a right program. Ano ba? So hopefully he will excel with the New Orleans Pelicans. But still believe Lonzo Ball is a great player. Um, but of course, since you know you gotta get AD, well, you gotta trade Lonzo. That's why, of course, that's why with the trade included Jabos Lonzo because they still see him as a really. They see him high. They really, well, sorry, they highly regard LeBron, Lonzo Ball as a good player. So anyway, going back, real talk, ba? If LeBron wasn't with the Lakers or any of those teams, do you think they would have reached the finals? So this is what I'm talking about, ba? Ang impact bitaw with just having a LeBron James, he could be a second scorer, okay, for all we want. But the impact of him just being on a team, it suddenly becomes a contender. If he transfers to the New Orleans Pelicans right now, for sure, we will say he is a contender. Pelicans would be a contender. Even if he transfers to Charlotte Hornets.
Nga naman, kay Nanas Williamson dito.
Oh, ay na lang. Dili na lang.
That's my
Mo na-
point, pre.
Mo na ang, well, that's my point, actually. Because regardless of how you say it, if LeBron transfers to another team, you would still say he is a wonder. But the thing is, every time he transfers, honestly,
To
that
an
team
already established team,
will be a contender. Already established team, which was what? Unsa man sila sa playoffs prior to LeBron James transferring there. And that's my point. Oh, yes. Go
you know
LeBron.
exactly my point.
Um, you actually are giving.
You're actually ang imong question no gud imong the way you constructed your statement. Unsa man ni sila nga team kung wa mo balhin si LeBron diha. But some other subjective sad manam sad sila nga unsa kahano kung wa ni niya dada ang kini mga big names na already established players, all-star players.
Okay.
Let me
But
let
Bert,
me
sorry. Before LeBron James transferred to the Lakers, the lineup was Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram, Alex Caruso, o uban pa kisa to na dito.
Exactly. So
Okay.
wala.
All right.
So if the-transfer si LeBron dito without AD, what do you think?
Okay.
Yeah, I should
The
be giving more props to LeBron
the
if
Lakers
he
was
won the
before.
championship on those younger team, younger AD less team.
Of
Oh.
course. Of course. Because the thing is, pero, bay, if we look at it, all those years he was on the East, they would say, the East is weak. Okay? East is weak. He can't make it out on the West. When he transferred to the West, though, prior to LeBron James' injury, the Lakers was fourth in the standings. They were on a roll until he got his injury. Okay, so what if, lagi, this is what we call what if, all right? And of course, who would not respect a team with just one superstar and all bunch of scrubs? Kinsa man. Diba? So, what I'm saying here is, there are a lot, if you are on the NBA, you are in the NBA, you are already a heck of a player, right? You don't call yourself a scrub.
Exactly.
Even Danny Green. So, that already takes away your point. Sorry, wait. All good, ha? Go Lakers! Naka-mute ka, Bert.
So, mute. Ikaw, istorya ka, dili, madungog.
naka-mute gyapon ko. Wala
Wala
na
na.
may kuan diri sa
We cannot heard.
okay na. Kanang si Brother Erwin pa istoryahon sa nato kay na late man siya. We were talking about this championship dong ba? on how this kanang impact the legacy of LeBron James. This championship, three finals MVP on three franchise. And your thoughts about this because na late naman we were discussing a lot of things earlier, but let's I'll ask your opinion about the legacy of this championship for LeBron James.
Okay, pangutan Brad, nung kanang first gingon ni Brother Martin, ganun, establish naman daan si Lebron. When it comes to being a great player, no doubt, he will be included in my top 3 all time. Pero, para na ako, no, Lebron fan mo ko. But kanang, katong gingon ni Martin nga, whichever team siya mo transfer, mo all of a sudden kanang nga team himog siyang kanang top caliber team, playoff team or even kanang a team that can win a championship kay as what Martin pointed out earlier, even though even if he doesn't need to score, ang ilang presence alone in the court could intimidate the players. Hinamdam ka tong game 2 sa Nuggets sa WCF nga nakabuang nga na to niya si Mason Plumlee ning switch siya okay, due to the fact that LeBron is there, the respect ba, di ba?
Yeah,
So
true.
that led to the open three by AD. Ano ba kanang mga di na to makita sa mga statistics nga ng na mga ang factor ganang kuan ni LeBron being in the court alone, ang intimidating factor, ang respect kay ang iyang kuan ba kay grabe siya ka kuan kanang kuan siya nga player. Ako para nako ang GOAT para nako until up to this day kasi MJ good para nako. But when it comes to kanang overall kuan si LeBron, imagine na from 1 to 5 mo play siya from one position all the way down to play mo sa center kung makalisod. Pero mara gyud na akong convert akong point actually ako pag join na ning kuan kay late na ako nabasahan ang imong convert imong link kay nag-duty ko actually I'm just on my second break at work na so ako dire kay kabo ko nga nindot yun nga discussion kanang friends going at it ba with all the pride and all the fun. So mo ni kay mara gyud ako masulti kay ako I don't really know much about LeBron as much as Martin does. Kay ako fan ra ko but kanang murag tawag lang og even to a Hubert level, being a fan of LeBron kaya ako mura ka ng na jud ko ba kanang although nagsunod ko niya for a number of years but what ko ingon nga nadyo ka ng details about LeBron as much as you guys do. Mao rin ako masulti kay bisag wala pa nun nga finals, wala pa na siya mo champion ng Lakers karon. He's already established himself as one of the greatest of all time. No doubt. And it really means a lot to the Lakers kay mo karon he relived the franchise. Kita kas na ni Ginny Bass ganina murag ka. Sorry.
Cut.
Sorry. Sorry. It's the boost that the Lakers badly needed, being LeBron. And also to clear up the kanang mga that circulating around kuan nga may di na mabuhat wala si AD katong sa Pelicans pa si AD di ba unsa man nilang highest attainment as a team, di ba?
Second round.
Second round, di ba? So mo na ang gingon nga could AD have done it without LeBron? Sad tagasan mo sila fair share of the cake ba? Pero nako even without this championship, LeBron is already LeBron. Mara gyud akong ma-comment Basketball Travels 23.
All right. Thank you.
Namaminaw lang ko sa the rest of the discussion kay nako chat na node.
So actually, enemy, because that was our final, thought about this Game 6 finals. So any parting ways sa mga unsa ba na pa kay ma-add Martin?
Katong niingon si Bayjan ba na ang iyang the way he sees it na greats only do it during the clutch. So, di man yung ganahan og stats pero let's look at the stats. How many game-winning shots has LeBron done versus Michael Jordan? Okay, in the finals that matters, I give it to him. Game 6 sa Utah, Game 2 versus Utah. Yes, those are the memorable winning shots that matter kay finals man. Okay? All right? I give an edge to Jordan because of course LeBron didn't have that. Pero it's really unfair ba na when you say nganong iya pa man tong gipasa na he could have gidaro to niya. Imagine if iya tong gidaro niya napalakan siya just like how Kobe na napalakan si Kobe sa una sa four defenders of Bulls, then this would be a different conversation, right? So
Exactly
Actually,
my point.
what I
Mara
what
mo
I'm
sila yung
saying
dalam, daro ra magud.
what I'm saying here is um I definitely want to give credit to LeBron's greatness. It's a different it's we don't need to compare him to those other players kay different man sila. Pero yes, para dugang sa kuan ba, sa Kalingaw, I believe na I will side with you, Bert, and eventually kay year 17, 35 years old, the way he's playing right now, he's even fitter, stronger, faster than all the other younger guys. I still see him maybe a good 3 years. If he would be able to win championships on those 3 years, then definitely, wow, layo na. Layo na kayo. Even if he wins next year. Okay, I'm done. Last na gito, promise.
You have parting thoughts, Amordi,
Di na ko mo
or
rin na, promise.
addition, Win, na kay Guandong, na kay additional thoughts about, the game earlier, by your thoughts about how Lakers won the game, how they approached the game. Okay, those were the discussions earlier, yeah, on how Lakers started and what's the impact of Dragic, Miami's, loss on that game 6.
para lang ako no kung ato lang una-unaon ang mga some other factors nga wala nato ma-point out ba. Rajon Rondo resurrected kaban tayo.
Mm-hmm.
No, Rajon Rondo stepped up to the one occasion. Grabe yung kwan facilitating in the early moments of the game that led them to that massive blowout. Okay, naka-establish naman sila daan ba. Ako putol-putol kag tanaw kay chat in the side nga tanaw sa pikas tab gawa pero sa Rajon Rondo ko nakakuan ganina. The way he spread out the court, the way siya nakakuan, but mao gito yung naka-establish sila leading that ning lead ato nga kanang comfortable lead na mo pwede na sila makasaya-saya kay when it comes down to the wire delikado kayo ang Miami Heat because they have the younger legs and they're hungrier so kato naka-establish na sila leadaan so at least na sila time to sort of kanang locks off more yun ako masulti and even to Jeff Van Gundy's point ganina LeBron's career is far from over. He would still have a good 5 to 7 years. Let me tell you that. The way siya mo invest og money sa iyang body is just remarkable. Looking at a 37-year-old that's still going at it, but you would never find another athlete like LeBron. Mamaw sila Pacquiao. Sorry, ako na pong gisingit ako idol na. But,
Yeah.
makuha mo ganyan mo ang mga grades ba? But daghan pa kitag memories kay LeBron po down the line, maybe a good 5 to 7 years. Or again, and thank you for thank you sa aning discussion nga naka-share po ko sa akong not so knowledgeable insights but at least malingaw po ko sa mga heated discussions among friends and Basketball Travels 23 never fail to point out this kind of one. And hopefully managan itong subscribers Bert mo expand ta and we are with you all the way man.
All right.
Peace.
Thank you sa support do. From the very beginning, me speaking as Basketball Travels 23. Salamat kayo ninyo, although Josh and John weren't present at that moment na nag-ask ko videos, but they were supporting me all the way sa atong channel. And guys, atong mga viewers dira, if you notice, Erwin and Martin are always present sa atong channel. And I thank these people for supporting me all the way. And hopefully, si Safi will start UAAP, and so we'll discuss about those college games as well. Except for PBA, I don't discuss PBA anymore or talk about PBA. So, all right.
Our
And one more
boy.
thing, before we go, Brad, I just want to point out one more thing, if I may. About the language earlier, guys. Sorry kayo. I just got carried away. I know.
Unsa
I
na
was
giingon
just
nimo win? Unsa na giingon nimo win?
overstimulated. About the Jimmy Bus thing.
All right.
Basketball Travels 23 has always been a wholesome channel and the Kwan. So that was just a slip of the tongue. So thank you, guys.
That's all right dong. Okay, we're recorded, not live.
Last last
So,
last parting
oh yeah,
question.
yeah.
Last last parting question. When will LeBron retire? I mean, what team? Is he retiring good for the Lakers until his last hurrah,
For
or
me, it's for me, when we talk about franchise, there's only like three. For me, there's only like three biggest franchise in the NBA, which is the Boston Celtics, the Lakers, and the New York Knicks. Fourth is Chicago Bulls. So if you're not on those franchise, then you're probably still be journeying. But since LeBron is already in Lakers, so for my assumption, it will be Lakers. But in terms of time, I don't know. Like Erwin said, and it was Jeff Van Gundy says that LeBron will still have like 5 to 7 years, and I think even if LeBron will be on a wheelchair, LeBron can still input his mind on the game because that's how
He will
brilliant
retire. He will
that's how
retire if he
brilliant
gets seven.
LeBron is. The IQ, not the physique, but the IQ. The physique is already, bonus for LeBron James. The same with Rajon Rondo. IQ. Rod Rondo is not that great player, but he can input and influence player or teammates in a different level.
LeBron will retire if he gets seven because he's
So
so
that
desperate and he fancies himself to be the greatest. So he
so
will
Ah.
retire
that's
when he gets seven. Do,
So
unda na
he
tayo,
will
mga una tao eh. Kaya talaw na imidya na.
so retire na
no
siya
no
in like 3 years dai. Sakto ka. Okay. So anyway,
3 years old.
akong thoughts no kay
Do,
he
yung kalasa na. Kaya tagutom
retire,
na kayo.
retire na siya
Amordi, you can
at
leave. You
the
can leave
Lakers.
if gutom
Ah,
na ka.
okay. Ah, sige, sige, sige. Ayaw,
Sige.
paminaw na Gus Martin. Wow. Wow,
Okay.
sige daw, istorya daw.
Diyan ako eh. Di ba daw? Di ba daw? Sakto si Hubert. 4 franchises, okay? If you are on those franchises, even if wala na kay playing minutes and you're not, or even if you've already retired, you're already set for life. That's why these big market teams want a big market player, even though di na sila magamit, or even if they're not employed anymore because of the media and the endorsements that they get. So, LeBron is retiring as a Laker. Muna na yung retirement plan actually.
He will play
All
with
right.
Doncic soon
Yeah.
because he needs, right now at his age, he needs younger legs to carry him to that seventh ring. So, wala, mga una ta, bye-bye.
Buti
No.
alay mo
No.
na mo parting. Buti alay.
No, Amordi, don't be
Gusto
surprised
mo ba?
if
Gusto mo
no,
ba maganda mo? Kasi
Buti
ata
alay.
naman.
Amordi.
Oh,
Amordi, don't be surprised
Amordi,
kung
out of the playing
si
court.
technical.
Amordi kung don't be surprised kung si Lonzo Ball mo balik sa Lakers ha. Don't be surprised.
Younger legs, carry him through the seventh rings because he's so obsessed about that one. Timmy stayed for Spurs. That's one of my
Lami
idols.
kay na lami kayo
Sige,
isulti about but murag mutaas na ta. Pero
amo lagi.
let's call it a wrap and
Lain
thank you so
na
much.
discussion eh. Lain na.
So
Lain
enjoy,
na
enjoy.
discussion. Thank
Si
you so much.
Lebron lang malakas.
All right, thank you. Again, this
Yo.
is Basketball Travels 23. Thank you so much sa ato ang guest co-host for today, Amor D, the Martin, It Really Hurts, and Idol Erwin. And all right, I really appreciate the time, guys, and thank you. And again, I'm wrapping up this video or podcast. Thank you, and congratulations to our Lakers! Woo!
congratulations.
Joke NBA.
All right, thank you. Dong, lamat dong.
Ray, long.